Brentford versus West Ham in the FA Cup. We're going to be listening to Moyes' press conference, score predictions, team predictions, talking about what this means for West Ham. Do we need to be in the FA Cup? Let's see. Over to you, Scott.
Hello everyone, welcome to the big match preview. We're here to look ahead to the Brentford versus West Ham game. FA Cup, third round. Tricky on this one, boys, isn't it?
Oh, I tell you, before you go in, Scott, that was emotional hearing you say that. It's been a long time, mate. It's been a long time.
It's good to be back saying it, you know.
Mr. Preview. I can't believe I'm on a preview of Mr. Preview. It's like I've lived a West Ham fan TV dream.
We've been long-time fans of yours, Scott, so it's I'm kind of starstruck to be honest with you, mate.
You got two fanboys sitting here, Scott.
It's been a long time since I've done one, so yeah. It's good to be back. Good to be back. And what one to come back for? The FA Cup, one of my favourite competitions. You know, big game, tough game, but it's what we love. I love this competition. As I said, as a kid, when you're playing football before the Premier League come about, this is the competition you always wanted to win.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I mean, you see behind me, the last time we won the FA Cup was in 1980, and look how that's still celebrated because it's not a trophy. We come close in 2006. Fucking Scaloni. And he went on to win a World Cup as a manager. But yeah, that still hurts deep with a lot of West Ham fans. Well, I think every West Ham fan. So yeah, look, a good cup. The good thing is with the FA Cup and cup competitions is your league form goes out the window. It's a distraction from your league form. So a game like against Brentford, you know, going there and getting the win could give us a boost for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great. Yeah, it's the timing, obviously, where we haven't won since the 24th of October. I think it is. Well, that was in the league. I mean, any game. I think it was beginning of November where it was the last game we won in the cup, the Conference Cup. So this is a chance for us to get a win under our belt, you know, in the FA Cup, and it's going to be a tough one. Brentford give us a lesson last week.
Yeah, they did, mate. And this is the thing. And, you know, could this be a good game to have after the picking up the point against Leeds? You know, that stopped, you know, the I wouldn't say winless run because we still didn't win, but, you know, it was 5 losses on the bounce. We get the draw against Leeds. Now we come into this game where, all right, we got one eye over our shoulder because we are where we are in the league. But obviously Brentford going great guns in the league. They're now looking at, well, we want to finish as high as we can. So do we really want to take this competition seriously? You know, for me, and I know Ryan said it, I think you're in agreement with us, Dan, winning a trophy at the end of the season is the main thing. Look, none of us want to get relegated, but we would take winning the FA Cup and finishing 16th, 15th all day long. You know, it's again, it's a trophy in the trophy cabinet, European football the next season and Premier League football the next season. So for me, I feel in the position we're in, we need to take it seriously and we need to try and get a win under it.
I agree. I mean, if you get me a Wigan fan or a Portsmouth fan here now and ask them would they swap winning the FA Cup for where they are now, their memories that they had. It's a massive competition. You know, some of the bigger clubs don't take it as serious. Saying that though, you know, I always think like, well, Man City, it don't matter if they put out their third team, they've still got a strong team. But you know, there's some big names in this competition. This is the round where all the big teams come into it. The third round of the FA Cup. We always say, we're not bothered about the FA Cup, but when that third round draw is being made, we're all glued to our tellies, waiting to see who we get. And unfortunately, we've got an informed Premier League team away. I don't know if they're going to have a strong team. I mean, I think Moyes ain't going to change much. I think he'll make a few changes, but I think he'll keep it strong.
I think it's more important for them to... I think they're in more of a position to put out a strong team because you look at them, they're sort of mid-table. They're not really in a relegation scrap. So they've got... This is it for them. They're not going to really get into Europe, I don't think. So for them, this FA Cup, how they're playing, they've got a chance.
They've got the makings of a good cup side. Do you know what I mean? They've got that ability to upset one of the big boys. You know, they've got a good way that they play. They're set up well. The manager's got them tactically sound. and they are hard to beat. So they have got all the makings of a good cup side that could go on a good cup run. But we've seen it in this competition many times. Form going into this competition can be irrelevant. And that's how you've got to look at it. This is a game that's going to be wide open.
Yeah,
yeah.
And you look at our bench the other night. I mean that bench there. You had Johnson, Creswell, Antonio, Lanzini, Downs, Areola, Ogbonna, Benrahma, Emerson. They could all start tomorrow. So it's about giving some of these players a run out. Like players like Lanzini that ain't really getting a lot of game time lately. Flynn Downs, I know he come on the other night against Leeds. Areola especially, he needs some game time. But Ogbonna as well. Maybe Aguerd might start just to give him a bit more game time. Because he's not like, if we was playing a League One team, I'd say nah, because but you're playing a Premier League team, so they're going to be a bit similar to us. They're not going to get stuck in like someone in League One would, because that'll be their biggest game of some of their lives, playing a Premier League team.
The thing is, as well, when you look at it, we played them just over a week ago in the league. Moyes, would he have learnt things from that game? Going into this one, there's certain things that on the night may not have gone right, because I thought we started the brighter of the two sides in the league game. And it didn't pan out. But as Moyes will Moyes look at that and think, you know what? There's certain aspects of our game plan for that. Before they scored that goal, we were the better side. We were on top. A bit stronger defending. Maybe we don't concede the way we conceded.
I think Thomas Frank, to me, seems the more tactically astute of the two managers. And I think as much as we look at what Moyes would learn, what would Thomas Frank have learned, even in winning, in victory? It is a tough one, and it's away. And our away form this season is shocking. Really bad. Apart from Europe is like, it's its own fucking world, isn't it? But you are playing a lot of sort of easier competition. This is a tough game. But should I quickly play this clip for the team news, actually, since we touched on the players? I'll play this. We'll hear for a bit from Moyes himself and see what the latest team news is.
With Vladimir Kufal, we're going to have a look at, because he took a real clatter in the game the other night. Should have been a sending off. So we will need to check Vladimir out. Kurt Zouma is getting closer, but maybe not yet. We'll just need to check. He's only just going to start training. So we're probably much the same. We're still obviously trying to recover. We only played sort of late on Wednesday night, so we're still trying to get the players back together and get them ready.
So that looks like Zouma probably not back. Soufal, I can't see featuring. That was a tough one. And then obviously Cornet. But apart from that, I mean, it's almost a fully fit squad by the sounds of it.
Yeah. And look, it's nice to see Zouma back in training as well, especially full training. So hopefully we'll see him back within the next couple of games in the Premier League, because it'll be a massive boost. But yeah, I mean, pretty much what we said before, like, it's going to be a similar sort of team with just probably about 3 or 4 changes. There are a few players that still need a run out. Whether he's going to play Paqueta, Rice, I don't know. I think maybe leave Declan Rice in there.
Yeah, I think what would do is that I think it's hard to do this off the top of your head, but in a minute, I want to get both of yours and mine. We'll try and the lineups that we want to see, because it's going to be an interesting one. Because to me, I agree with you both. Trophies, be all and end all. It's you want to win, and the dream to win that FA Cup is a dream come true. Now, for me, this season, I think it's one step too far. We are in a situation where I don't think we are in a relegation battle. We've got to that point where we can say we're in it, but we're not so deep into it that you can say this is our reality for the rest of the season, right? It's still time for us to get out of it. But for me, the priority is obviously trying to get up the table and away from that relegation and the Conference League. Because the way I look at it, I don't think we're a side, like you said, Scott, about Brentford, at the moment they're a good cup side, can get upsets over the big teams, can beat teams around them. We don't seem to have that at the moment. And the Conference League, like, we're in the FA Cup every season. The Conference League, this could be our last stab at Europe for a long, long time. So to me, I would rather us not put all our eggs in this basket and go, right, let's put all our heavy hitters in this, and then maybe put out a team that's still strong, but you've got players that would maybe be on the bench in a league game featuring in this, and maybe a promising youngster, but go all out in Europe, right? All out in that conference league, because if we win that, we're in the Europa League and we got a third season, and we've got, to me, a better chance of winning the Conference League than winning this FA Cup, where we're going to hit the Liverpools, the Man Cities, the Arsenals, and the Chelseas at some point later on. And I can't see this team capable of winning that.
I totally agree. I mean, look, if I want West Ham to win every game, obviously, but if we went out tomorrow, I wouldn't be too disappointed, because I agree with you. I think the Conference League's there for us to win. I think we're one of the best teams in it. The league is always a priority. You want to stay in the Premier League. I know people say that they drop down to the Championship, but no, you got to be in the Premier League. You know, you attract better players when you're in the Premier League. So yeah, but I want to win the game. I think we can put a good enough team out tomorrow to beat Brentford, because Brentford will rest some of their first team players. I don't really know too much about Brentford, so I don't know what they've got in reserve. So I don't know what they've got to come on. I don't know their youngsters, but I'm sure being a Premier League club, they're going to have decent backup to come on. So it will be a tough game. But look, if we did lose tomorrow, I wouldn't be too upset. And I never thought I'd say that.
No, I see where you both are coming from with it, and you know, it's in what you're saying. It is right in some respects, but I just feel to get some momentum within the side will be a good thing. And sometimes cup games are a welcome distraction. I do agree with you, Dan. I think we're in a very, very good position, even though our league form is shocking at the moment. We are in a very good position when it comes to that Europa Conference League, and we should go all guns blazing and try and win that. But I just feel that this is a good distraction from the league form. Picking up that point at Leeds was we were saying it on Friday Night Pint. It could be a turning point in our season. Paqueta scoring the goal, getting his first goal, Samaka getting on the score sheet as well. This could be the point, and we need to start picking up momentum. And it wouldn't be the end of the world if we did get knocked out, but it would be a big boost and a big buzz if we did go on to get the win in this game and progress into the next round. And it gives players, like you said, who have not having the game time, like the Lanzinis, the Johnsons, the Flynn Downs, players like that who are not getting a lot of game time apart from in European competition, to sort of say, well, hang on, Gaffer, I'm still here. You look at the left back situation at the moment. Kera, poor performance. Creswell, way out of form. Everson, not the greatest defensively. So if a Johnson comes in and plays left back and stamps his authority on that position, it then gives Moyes it gives Moyes something else to think about and another body to say, well, I played him there. He done all right. It's a position we've been found out a bit. I'm going to give him another go. So it's one of those. It'd be great to win. I think we've got to look to win it, but I also see the aspect these fringe players need game time.
I think that's it. It's key. It's win it, try win it, because like you said, positive. If we win that, it starts to, we got our first win in a long time. It breaks that curse of not winning games, but let's not throw in all of our key players and do it. Let's try and win it and give other players an opportunity. And I'm very key. What I'll do is I'll play this clip from Moyes talking about a potential cup run, and I'm really excited to hear from you both, and I'll come up with mine of the lineup. So while we're playing this, have a think about the lineups that you want to see for this Brentford game. So let's listen. Let's hear from Moisey again.
Yeah, like winning any football match is really important. So we've had a great thrill this year by winning all our games in Europe and topping the group in European football, as we did last year. Last year we had a really good run in the League Cup where we beat both Man City and Man United in the League Cup. So I think that if you can get a run in the Cup, in any Cup competition, I think it's a good thing. So it's really important to do it. But I think ask the majority of the managers of all to the bread and butter of the Premier League. It's where you need to be, it's what you want to do. So it'll always be the most important thing. And But winning a cup and getting a run for the supporters is equally as important. You're trying to give them, good games, days that they remember, and I'd love to be able to do that.
He pretty much said what we was saying, weren't we? Like the league is the bread and butter, but a good run in the cup can. So yeah,
I also feel that's a bit of Moyes in the sense of
he's protecting himself.
He's keeping the fans on side, saying, "Look, the cup is important," but
like we've been doing for 15 minutes.
As a manager and wanting to keep his job, the Premier League's where he needs to be. That's what I get from that clip.
Yeah, that's and that is positive that he's on the same page as what we're thinking. So I think that's definitely a good sign. The team that he will pick these days is anyone's guess. I mean, you see some of them lineups, like the lineup against Leeds. We're like, Souček's back in, and Fornals is there, and Ben Rama's been dropped. So it's always hard trying to predict his teams. But rather than try and predict Moyes' teams, I'd like to know from you guys, what is your preferred team? The team that you'd like to see? I think I've got mine. What do you guys think? If you want, I'll go first, and then you can go off that, unless you.
Yeah, go on, do your one. I sort of know.
I'd say Areola in goal, Emerson left back, Kerr and Dawson centre back. There's not much options at the moment until Zuma comes back. No, still Aguerd has just come back, isn't he? So I still save him for this. He needs a little bit more time. So Dawson and Kerr centre back, right back Johnson if he's fit. And then in the middle, I'd have Paqueta and Downs. Paqueta, I want him to build on that positivity and build on the momentum now he's scored. I still think he can have another game. Lanzini in the middle, number 10. Ben Rama on the left wing, who missed out on the Leeds game. Bowen at right wing, he's our only proper right winger. And Antonio up top. So that's what I would go with as a balance of some strong players there, and then some others that you can rest and come in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Areola. Obviously, he's going to be in goal. For a back four, I went for Johnson right back, Ogbonna, Aguerd, and Emerson at left. Because I just think that Dawson needs a little bit of a rest. Aguerd needs some game time, and Ogbonna needs game time as well.
I changed that to Ogbonna. Yeah, Dawson for Ogbonna. I forgot about him. I agree with that.
In the middle, I'm a bit. I think he'll stick with Declan Rice just for that comfort blanket. And I think you might see Downs in there with Paqueta. I think they might try that little trio in midfield. And then up front, I'd go Scamacca. I'd keep him up top just to see if he can get another goal. And I'd probably change it and maybe drop Bowen and maybe play Ben Rama and Fornals.
Interesting. Yeah, I was when I was toying with the idea of dropping Bowen and putting Antonio there and Scamacca up top, but I opted to rest Scamacca. But no, I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm because I could have chucked Lanzini in there as well because I think he needs game time. But I think we do need to go strong, but we do need to give some fringe players a run out, and we need to. Obviously, you'd love to get the game wrapped up after 10, 15 minutes, but that ain't football, is it? It's a 90-minute game. But
not West Ham at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if he went with Antonio up top instead of Scamacca, I'd probably say I'd probably agree with that. So I just want Scamacca to get, because I felt sorry for him the other night when he got dragged off, because that goal gave him a lot of confidence, and I wanted him to go on and maybe, because I think if he would have been in that position Antonio was in, he would have tapped that in at the back post in the last minute. I think he would have been that buzzing. He'd have had that extra yard in his head, and he would have. But listen, go on, Scott. What's your?
It's one of those. I think I'm going to go for what I think Moyes will do, not what I think I want. Areola will start in goal.
I'm interested what you want, though. I want to know. I still want to know
what you want.
You would prefer. Yeah,
I'm trying to be realistic, and I'm trying to look at how Moyes is going to look at it, because I don't think he'll start Emerson at left back. I think if Soufal's fit, you'll probably see Johnson start at left back, and Soufal start at right back. And I think Dawson.
Do you think Soufal will be coming in? Do you think he's okay?
If he's fit, I think he plays, because he's another player.
But do you think he's fit?
Sorry?
Do you think he's fit? Do you think he's fit? Because if you're choosing him, that means you think he's fit.
The way the geezer clumped him off the pitch. And Eric Werner red card's a disgrace in refereeing, in my opinion. But no, I don't think he will play. But if he does, I think if he's fit, he'll play. He will play him because I think he needs to run the game. So,
right.
but if he, let's say he's not fit, I'm going to say Johnson's going to go left back, Carer's going to go right back. He's going to play a Bonner. I don't think he'll risk Aguerd 2 games in that short space of time. So it'll probably be a Bonner and Dawson. He'll start Souček in the midfield with Downs. He'll play Lanzini in the 10. It will be Bowen on the right because, as Ryan alluded to, Dan alluded to, we've not got many other options on the right-hand side. Benrahma will come in the left, and I think he'll start Antonio up top.
Well, that's the end of our FA Cup run then for another year. The thing is with Benrahma as well, I think it's a perfect game for him tomorrow. Going back to his former club, full house, he'll want to show why he left them because he got a lot of stick from their fans when we played him the other week. They were singing like he wants to come home and that. So he'll be up for it. Yeah, it's interesting because I can see where you're coming from, Scott, because you're thinking of like David Moyes. Me and Dan went down the option that what our preferred 11 would be, which was the original question, Scott, by the way.
Yeah, Scott.
But yeah, I know what you're like. Moyes he'll play it safe. You can see maybe Souček in there with Downs and Lanzini at the tip of that in midfield.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me if he even started Rice and Souček again, and then took one of them off at half time and brought Downs on.
I think just for the, as I said, just for the safety, I think Rice will start tomorrow.
I think Downs has to start. Like every time we've seen him, he's looked really good, and he needs more game time. He really does.
It could be a Downs, Souček, and Rice midfield. Then, I mean that there's not much flair in there, but
then if he plays Downs in the number 10 role or in front of,
if you look at the Leeds game, Souček was playing a lot further forward. So you could possibly see Downs sort of doing the holding role, which then allow Rice and Souček to sort of do the box-to-box work.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. We'll all be sitting there at, what is it, where it'll be 4:30 tomorrow, waiting for that team news to come out.
That's it. It's so, now, waiting for team news, it's so tense because you just don't know what it's going to be.
Sitting there on Twitter, 4:29, refreshing.
So, looking at that then, let's get into the predictions for the game now. This is a tough one. How do you guys, honestly, you're honest, what you think? I mean, obviously you have your head score and your heart score a lot of the time, but what do you think?
You know what? I think we're going to win tomorrow. I think we're going to win. I'm going to go 3-1 West Ham. And that's going to surprise a lot of people. And there'll be people sitting there thinking, but I don't know. I just got a feeling that tomorrow, I think we're going to get the result. I'm going to go 3-1. Fuck it. We ain't had much to chat about. I might as well go for it.
Fingers crossed that prediction comes through, mate. Scott,
it wouldn't. I can't return to the big match preview without predicting us to win. So I'm going 2-1.
Okay, 2-1. Well, I'm gonna break that cycle of positivity and pour a bit of water on our flames of hope and say, I don't know. I just can't see it. It's away. Brentford, such a good team now. We do need some momentum. Maybe changing it up if he does give these other Flynn Downs, that might be what we need. But I just can't see us winning away to Brentford. I think it's going to be a tight game all the way throughout, and we'll concede a late goal and lose 1-0. Sadly, which we've said we don't want to see us lose, but we won't be massively cut up because it's not we've got the league to focus on. We want to win that Conference League and build something and win that bloody FA Cup next season when we're in a good place.
I just want to end the drought against Brentford because they're becoming a new Brighton for me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah, let's nip that in the bud before they establish themselves as another Brighton. So yeah, that's what we think. Let us know what you think, what team you want to see, and what score prediction that you have. And let's hope we bloody win. And go out now
Can I
Go on,
just
mate.
say to the people in the chat, in the comments, be gentle on me and Scott with our predictions, please.
Yeah. No, listen, if you're right, they'll be coming. You guys are going to look very smart. You look like geniuses. So come back to this after the game and just give whichever one of us stick you want to give stick after the fact. Listen, that's what it's about. We put ourselves out there on these predictions. But if you haven't seen it, click the box there and go and watch the Friday Night Pint. Great show.